Welcome back to the desk. It's time to talk some off-season baseball. The biggest news in the league right now comes out of Queens as the Mets just made a big move that has fans looking forward to next season. Here to tell us more is our correspondent, Joe Rea. Joe?
Yo has returned. Yoenis Cespedes and the Mets have agreed on a 4-year, $110 million deal. His $27.5 million annually will be the second highest for any position player in MLB history, trailing only the Tigers' Miguel Cabrera. However, this move by the Mets makes things a lot more complicated in that outfield. They now have 6 outfielders on the roster, but both Jay Bruce and Curtis Granderson have been reported to be involved in trade talks. Cespedes' contract does not include an opt-out, but does include a no-trade clause, so we will be seeing Yo in a Mets uniform for quite some time. Mason?
Thank you, Joe. So let's talk about how the Yoenis Cespedes deal is going to help the Mets moving forward. So we'll obviously start with the Yankee fan. Giuseppe?
So with Yoenis Cespedes back in Queens, back in Citi Field, that adds so much power to the Mets lineup as it did last year. I mean, you saw what he did last year. He had, I believe it was 31 home runs with about like 86 RBIs, somewhere in the high 80s there. You'll see it on your screen in just a few short seconds. But Yoenis Cespedes adds such a power bat to this lineup. You see it right there, an average of 280, 31 home runs, like I said, 86 RBIs, and a slugging percentage of 530. If you don't sign somebody back with those numbers, then you're dumb for being a Met.
Sure.
If you don't sign somebody and you're in the Mets organization that has done that for you.
This is a move that needed to be made. I mean, he's hitting 280 for the season, but before he hurt that quad, he was hitting like 320. So this is a move that needed to be made. You saw what was happening before and after he was hurt. This is a move that had to be made.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a guy that rejuvenated the franchise when he got there. I mean, you need to re-sign him.
And we can't forget about his arm, too. He
Absolutely
throws
not.
like 100 miles an hour towards
One
home
of the
plate.
best outfielders
Throws
in
guys
baseball.
out so far away.
All-around ball player.
Yeah.
So let's move to the other New York team. Big news good news for Yankee fans, I'd say. Nathan Eovaldi is back with the Yankees in the rotation. Tell me about how that's going to fit in, Giuseppe.
He's leaving the Yankees, and the Yankees need a new guy in their rotation. So what I really want to see for the Yankees is a trade for the legendary Chris Sale from the White Sox. But you know what? Knowing the Yankees, knowing that their pockets are so deep but they don't want to spend any money, it's going to be somebody like Rich Hill. I mean, there are a lot of potential free agents out there. We have Rich Hill. You got going to the Yankees organization, Luis Cessa. You got Derek Holland out there too. But for the Yankees, for the price range that they're looking for, they're probably going to go Rich Hill.
I feel like Chris Sale is nearly impossible to acquire for almost anyone. They're asking for about 5 prospects and 4 different planets to get Chris Sale off their hands, but it's just not going to happen. I think ultimately, like you said, it's going to be Rich Hill to get signed by the New York Yankees to fill that hole from Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah, you know, the safe bet would probably be Rich Hill, but I hope they go with C.J. Wilson. I would like to see C.J. Wilson rejuvenate his career in New York, and I think that would be the best move for the Yankees. This guy has prior success with the Rangers. He's a good pitcher.
So the last thing we're going to talk about, Dexter Fowler. There's some speculation on where he's going to end up. Antonio, we'll throw this one to you. Where do you think he's going to land?
There are a couple of teams that are interested. I think like one of the Cardinals are interested. I think there's like 10 teams that are really looking at him right now. But I think the 2 teams to watch out for are the St. Louis Cardinals, and watch out for an underdog team to slide in there. Watch out for the Baltimore Orioles to get that move.
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. I think he fits right into that lineup.
Okay.
And I think with Encarnacion and Batista moving, I think that's going to be a real good fit for them.
Okay, Giuseppe?
I'm going to go with Jake, and I'm going to say the Blue Jays because that outfield would be way, way better with a guy like Dexter Fowler.
So got a little bit of time left, so I want to throw a little speculation here. We are in the offseason, so there's not so much big news to talk about, but I want to get your guys' opinion. Who's the team to look for? Who's really going to be the breakout team that's really – who do you think is going to be surprising people? Who's the team to look for going into next season?
Wow, that's a really good question. I don't know why, but the Atlanta Braves are making some interesting moves. I mean, they're not going to be a great team by any means. They're not going to make the playoffs by any means necessary, but they're definitely going to be
Bartolo Colon. Right?
I mean, I love Bartolo Colon, obviously, but they're going to be an improved team. They said for the past couple of years that 2017, as they moved into the new ballpark, was that year they wanted to make that leap into a more contending team, a better team overall. So, like I said, are they going to win the playoffs? Are they going to get to the playoffs? Absolutely not, but they can get 70 wins.
Sure.
I think depending on the rest of the offseason, the Mets could be the breakout team.
Okay.
The Mets could easily make a couple small moves in their lineup and in their bullpen to really put them over the top and make them an elite team.
Gotcha. Giuseppe, who are you looking out for?
Surprise, surprise, I'm going to go Yankees. The Yankees are looking to bolster their rotation, as we talked about now with Nathan Eovaldi exiting, and they also picked up a lot of new guys, a lot of prospects from the Indians, the Chicago Cubs when they when they traded away Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman. So a lot of people are saying the Yankees are going to be good in just a couple of years. Look for the Yankees to be good next season.
One more, watch out for the Colorado Rockies. Maybe
Okay.
that.
All right, only time will tell. So that'll do it for baseball. Coming up next, we have Riggy and the hockey crew to talk some New York Rangers. Don't go anywhere.